Greetings, my fellow ghoulies, and welcome to a scary edition of Sophie's POV. Today, we have a spooktacular game to cover in detail. Much like my sponsor! Stop! But joking aside, join me as we venture along a journey that is literally out of this world. This is the frightful and suspenseful tale of Half-Life. From the makers of A Shitty Storefront, it's that revolutionary FPS from 1998. You're talking about Valve or Epic? Both! Microsoft was founded as Stratford Data in 1972 by Paul Allen, Paul Gilbert, and Bill Gates. None of this is important. In 1996, Doom was ported to Windows 95 by a Microsoft employee named Gabe Newell and some other dudes. It was infamous for Bill Gates cutting a promo on Windows 95 while soon proposing the game, but it was also showcased at the DirectX API. Almost none of this is important too. Harvard dropout Gabe Newell worked for Microsoft since 1993 working on Windows products, but after having interest in Quake as well as porting Doom to said OS, he, along with another dude, left the company in 1996 to found a new studio, Valve Software. Their first project was called Quiver, named after a military base from Stephen King's The Mist. It was gonna run the Quake engine carrying a license from it, but then it got modified to hell. It was a very ambitious title, so much so that nobody wanted to publish it for being too ambitious for a bunch of newbies. Eventually they found a publisher that got shown at E3 of 97, now called Half-Life. Originally supposed to be released in late 97 to compete with Quake 2, it was pushed back to November 1998, published by Sierra. 1998 was a year of FPSs. You have Blood 2, that sucked. Sin, that went overlooked. Unreal, a marvel before this came out. Rainbow Six, didn't know it was an adaptation, but Half-Life took the world by storm with its groundbreaking storytelling in first-person shooter and its atmosphere, earning over 50 Game of the Year awards in the process. It was supposed to be ported to the Dreamcast with an extra campaign later on, but that got cancelled and Blue Chip became a PC-only standalone expansion. But it did get a PS2 release in 2001, complete with a co-op campaign and enhanced graphics. By the way, ported by Gearbox. I don't want any more of your magic tricks, just stop! I'll be playing the PC version, not the retail original though, but the Steam version with its really underwhelming menu. What a step down from this majesty. And since most of you had the HD models, I'll be playing with the original graphics. I don't know, I have a soft spot of this HD shit. When you start up the game the first time, you ought to get the title followed by the train ride, or this. Yes, apparently the game had the decency to include an optional tutorial level to teach you how to play the game, including features like crouch jumping, and this long jump module that won't show up until one of the last chapters of the game. Again, this is optional and it doesn't unlock anything, so let's go right into the game. So you play as Gordon Freeman, mild-mannered 27-year-old theoretical physicist in Black Mesa who is trying to do a test at Sector C. Fair enough. Too bad he's running late though.
Morning, Mr. Freeman. Looks like you're running late.
I just said that! Before I move on, we just
Freeman, I had a question for you. Crash about what you're trying to do. Hey, stop that.
wanted some catharsis for a bit. But anyway, seeing a tram ride to your workplace instead of just being instantly pointed to action is quite a revelation even in the late 90s. It's one of those things that actually bring more life to a game, giving you an immersive experience throughout. In fact, you can interact with objects like you're in a boring office job, and while there are cutscenes, you're not locked from gameplay to see a cinematic or whatever. You can still move and even should have people talking too if you're some kind of a sociopath. Anyway, as he goes to the test chamber, he dons the HEV suit, which apparently has features for weapons built in.
Defensive weapon selection system activated.
Okay. After a bit of a lengthy trek down and hear some warnings about the anti-mass spectrometer, I'm sure it'll be fine. You begin the test where you just push the button and scientists do the rest, until the person is caught with a crystal to the beam. Are you telling me that this is unstable? Whatever, it's too late to stop, so no turning back now!
Get away from the shut it down. No. Attempt to shut down.
See? See? Totally fine. Half-Life has a slow but strong start. It's only gonna get strong from here. After Gordon wakes up after glimpses of an alien world, you see the aftermath of the Residence Cascade, where rooms destroyed, alarms bleeping, phones being out, and aliens spawning. Still better than if we created a black hole to kill us all. I watched End Day. As you can see, this game's an FPS. Doubt it. Unlike games such as Quake or Duke Nukem, there isn't any key hunting at all. There's no need to anyway. The game's levels are a lot linear this time. Sure, you come back to your previous spots of several chapters, but other than that, it's just going to point A to B without much distractions. And it works in a narrative way, like how someone is controlling your destiny as you track down the facility in either benevolent or malicious ways. The closest you get to key hunting is when you let scientists and bodies to follow you to activate switches you're not allowed to, as well as giving you a little helping hand. The first spots have unforeseen consequences pretty much tell you what to do in a more natural way. You won't be unharmed for long as you pick up a crowbar, the all-reliable, Gordon's massive sword, Buster sword, Omni wrench, however you're gonna compare it to. Never leave the chamber without it. It's officially capable of breaking crates, windows, rolling over enemies, as well as doing this to corpses. Yeah, it feels as if the sequels didn't have that feature. Sometime later you meet up a car shooting a zombie. Might be an opportunity to kill him and steal his gun, or just let him help you. I'm not always sociopathic.
No! Stay back! Gordon!
Here's a clock, standard fare for a full auto pistol, either accurately slow or splendidly fast. This is still the 90s, full auto pistols are still the rage of the gaming world back then. The first two chapters after the incident, you will face some dreadful foes along the way, complete with their grand entrances the first time you meet them. First up are the headcrabs, annoying little critters that jump at you, particularly on your head so they can turn you into a zombie with menacing claws that expose innards. Looks like something out of a Cronenberg film. Well, everyone except the main character, Gordon's a hero, you know. The zombies are quite easy to confront as you must keep your distance as they swipe at you. A few shots in hand will do. Next you have the Hound Eyes, armed with one giant insect eye. They can charge and emit lethal shockwaves, though it takes a bit to do it, so you have plenty of time to rent them, just before when they're in groups. Next is the Bull Shakers, which... I got a note here telling me that I must call them Bull Squid since that name is an old one used during development. Come on, I want to call them that. They like to projectile puke at you and spin to kill, as well as having head crabs on the side. There's the barnacles which grab and eat you if you walk towards their tongue, and then you have the Vortigons, known here as the alien slaves. Unlike the others I mentioned, they act more human and have better tactics. Sometimes. Their methods of attack are electrocution which, like the Hound Eyes, have to charge to do so. Grit to them though, so think fast. So far, the enemies aren't as bullshit as other games during the beginning stages. Their patterns and attacks are easily telegraphed, mostly, and they have such unique designs as well, even by 1998 standards. I mean, you can use the HD models, but why would you? The game has an amazing aesthetic with its blocky map designs. Unlike HL2, everything on the map besides weapons, auto turrets, and NPCs are just brushes. Even the elevators, trains, and stationary rocket launchers. I really love it, especially when they try to make something like a spray can. The models themselves are quite the charm as well. They have a cartoony look which kind of constructs the photograph text into the maps, but not by much, thankfully. While I'm better off without texture filtering, it's tolerable. Sound is really iconic to me and to most of you watching. The noises the aliens make are still good indicators, as well as the scientists and the parties, especially when they get hurt.
No!
Weapons, while not accurate, sound great as well. The HC pack replaces the noises of the machine gun and the shotgun, and I think Gearbox or whoever overdid it.
You're just compensating for something.
You're a fine one to talk.
Oh look, it's that elevator from Akira. You know what I love about Gold Source, the engine that's running the game? It's how quirky it is. You can just skip even major sections if you know the bells and whistles well, like how you can manage to get this scientist at the start of We Got Hostiles over this door by using him and pushing him to the door. While unforeseen consequences involve some platforming and swimming, Office Complex is mostly crawling inside vents. Yeah, half of the game is slowly traversing through air vents all while having a flashlight lit and defending yourself from headhunters. I'd say it kills the pace, but Half-Life is a bit slower in general compared to its contemporaries. Still, I hate how long these segments take. You get a shotgun here, it's pretty alright, it does the job really well, it can double barrel. Somehow. While the game is really linear, there are rooms you can go to that have some goodies to pick up. Even Half-Life encourages you to explore the levels. Good news, the military arrived to save us all! Or so they think.
Hello there.
For God's sake, open the silo door! They're coming for us! It's our only way out! Oh my God, we're doomed!
You know, something isn't right when there are trap mines and turrets planted throughout this chapter. But hey, the Heku Grunts are here. Or should I say that's HECU? Yeah, that definitely rolls off the tongue. Sure, they're not named that, they're just called the military. You have to wait till opposing first retcons it, but still.
Rescued it.
They're not here to tear their asses. They're here to destroy everything to cover up the disaster. And if that fails, just evacuate and let the Black Ops do the work, as well as get the remaining grunts into place while they're at it. And if that also fails, just nuke the place. But I'm getting ahead of myself. I fucking hate scanners! These guys, these turrets, and these guns later on are some of the worst enemies I had to face. The aliens either have projectile attacks or those that can be telegraphed. You know, Buskers with their lethal pukes and Wars and Houndies do these little charging animations. They do that so that you can either avoid or shoot before they do so. That is good game design. The grunts also do have attacks that can't be telegraphed if you're the fucking Flash in this case. You're always gonna get hit once they start shooting, zapping your own armored health in seconds. Yikes! And God, killing them is rather inconsistent. Sometimes double shotgunning them isn't enough to kill them, damn PCBs. And don't get me started on the darn grenades! Boy, am I gonna hate Half-Life 2 a lot once I get there. Still, I can commend the effort Valve did to make a robust AI system for the grunts. They work in squads, give tactical commands, even drop a grenade as a last resort. Because of all that, they're a force to be reckoned with. It's just that I'm happy when I'm killing aliens, thanks.
Everybody you'll see in the first 10 seconds of this report is an addict. You're an addict. You are. Addict. Addict. Oi, you're an addict. You're an addict. Addict. All addicted to the cure.
Oh god, the music is so fantastic! Composed by Kelly Bailey, despite a few sonic data that mainly one after you wear your suit. It's still an iconic soundtrack with techno rocky beats, sinister sounds, and song samples which still sound fitting. Usually you don't get to hear music, most of the time you're just gonna hear the game's blistering audio, but when a song plays, you know it's for something important. To the game, the surface isn't safe now what with the airstrikes. Time to go down again. God, this part sucks. It's so long and slow and I hate it a lot. Oh no, I'm back here. I ain't doing another lap, darn it. After learning about the cover-up, you head to a train and move to some of the more irradiated places in Black Mesa. Blast Pit, home of the tentacles, it is yet to be fixed part. Seriously, am I the only one who's actually bothered by it? The tentacles are not the sexual kind you expect, you know, my kind. But you distract them by throwing grenades at the place as they only react by sound. To actually kill them, you have to go to places to activate the power, fuel, and oxygen so that the rocket test can work. How convenient. You better get up the ladder fast just as you activate the fan. Whee! Another quirk of the engine? You can survive a big fall so long as there's any water on the ground. Going down was easy, going back up though is harder. More if the tentacles are at the bottom. They can instantly kill you, by the way. Please be nice to me. Please be nice to me. Now die! Well, that's done. Oh hey, a Magnum! Hope nothing wrong will happen to me. At least there's some medpacks at the table. Man, I love to break crates. It's like my addiction at this point. It may contain goodies. Oh great, another boss chapter right after the last one. And what else? The grunts are back. Hooray! So what you gotta do here is heading to the flooded pump to destroy these bugs and activate the power. It's easier said than done when you have these yet kind of cunts roaming around. Head back to the other room to turn on the rails and kill the Gargantua. Whenever it feels like going there. Move! Move! After that mess, we head to— oh no, I don't want to do on the rail! While yes, Half-Life is a rather linear and slow game, it doesn't bore you to death outside of on the rail. What you do here is using a train or two to reach the launch site to send a rocket to stop the cascade. There is some action to Spears in this chapter, but overall it's a pace killer, and the game was somewhat slow to begin with compared to the other games at the time. Also, the covered turret can just fuck right off! The last part of the chapter was better though. You get to hear these two soldiers being angry about killing their buddies and doing this little pose by pushing boxes. And away it goes! That overall sucked. Thankfully there's apprehension. You're supposed to be on this side of the flooded section, but I played the game many times before, so I thought ahead and skipped the barrels part. While almost all the monsters got impressive introductions, the leeches just show up casually, sucking the life out of you. They're not much of an annoyance and they don't matter much, unless you try swimming in Highway 17. Now that's an introduction! This scientist tells you there's a tranquilizer crossroad that can shoot underwater, one of the few in the game that can. Now that is a scary beast, like Jesus Christ! Try not to fall off the water here, or else the Hickeys will let you alive! There's this section where you can either activate these crutches to jump without dying to get to the other side, or just push the little box to the front of the ladder. I are smart. After a little battle, this scientist tells you that your suit has trackers on it, so it's just going to some more rundown places with shit tracking. No, it's not Christmas season yet!
Freeman, right? I've got a message for you. Make sure you don't—
Here's the skin-tight lady assassins, more annoying than the grunts, but they only show up like twice in the game. Still, they're fast, acrobatic, throw grenades, and if you're playing on hard, they're invisible. It's a shame that they have the loudest boost in the force. Save your suits to your S&M sessions next time. Oh, I'm sure nothing wrong will happen if I go in this room.
I see it.
The pain was almost euphoric. The bastards didn't want to interrogate Freeman, so they dumped him into a trash compactor. Without shooting the guy first. Whoops. Gordon escapes naturally, despite losing all his weapons except his crowbar, and it's out to residue processing, where you get to do some more platforming, yay. I gotta tell ya, Gordon is just so fast and athletic, and due to how jank the engine is, you can do this crouch jump, which, when crouching, your viewpoint stays at the max height as when you jump standing. This allows you to reach places that you couldn't do the normal way, and it's heavily encouraged, even told via the tutorial. This is why Half-Life is one of the best games when it comes to movement. No wonder I like to go erratic. But anyways, this chapter sucks too. It's just swimming and going through conveyor belts and trying to figure out how to get past through this fucking treadmill tunnel. That's enough of this shit. Oh, looky look, turns out Black Mesa has taken and started the aliens even before the day of the incident. What a shock that must have been. And here's the tanky alien grunts with their homing bee guns. Still not as annoying as it was though. And what do we have here? Snarks? Drop one and they jump at the nearby enemy. Or you. The chances are 50-50, it's real annoying and life draining. Ugh. And it also introduces the town cannon with an impressive introduction.
What is this thing? Is it some kind of weapon?
Put that down. It's a prototype.
Man, why aren't we using it?
It's much too unpredictable. Don't let it overcharge.
What do you mean, over?
They're all dead. This laser weapon is really useful and powerful if you charge it. It's one of the guns you can jib people at, and it's fun. Plus, while you can't do the high gust jump in single player, you can still do the long variant, very useful speedrunning. Impenetrable testing wall defeated by Noble S Box. Woo! After clearing the route from the grunt so that you escort one of the scientists safely to the scanner, it's off the surface tension, one of the last chapters featuring the grunts, as well as having the big alien duo showing up more often. Great! It's a really long chapter where you face a lot of different challenges, like avoiding the chopper's gunfire, not setting off a trip mine to nuke the place, avoiding any obvious references to machinimas. It's hell! And the cliff part is really anxiety-inducing, especially if you're afraid of heights. And this fucking helicopter too. Save me, laser-guided RPG! Other annoyances include mines and snipers you can only kill by dropping a grenade onto them. It is difficult to judge what exactly are they, as I kept missing them. Just throw a charge and get over with. And this part can just fuck right up too! Force just keep spawning and you must have quick reflexes to use the turrets. And just when you have a moment of respite, BAM! After another encounter with a gargantuan that can stand on narrow pipes. What? The military are pulling out and start the airstrikes. Now they sort of power where they drop bombs onto a tower in the door to make a path. Forget about Freeman, it's just an extension of surface tension. The military are still here, and gosh, it's just so hard to traverse this spot with the spawning grunts and warts, as well as those snark nests. Gah! Oh thank God, a moment of respite. At least I get to kill some head crabs and a bull squid, and the assassins came back. Did y'all get the memo? Damn sneaking foreigners. Welcome to the Lambda Core, where you must flood parts of it to make the teleporter work. Also the Gluon gun, or Egon gun, or whatever you want to call it, is better to defend the gun from Quake if they can't use it underwater. It's a safety measure. Okay, who thought this was a good idea? After doing so, you go up the core, avoid the electric charges, and stumble upon this section, where you must go to the right teleports to reach the top part of the section. It can take a while. And so you've reached the final part of the Black Mesa segment, where the scientists this morning explain that there's a menacing being controlling the whole invasion, preventing anyone or anything from stopping the cascade. So Gordon must kill whoever's doing so. Pack up and pick this thingy that I've mentioned before for 5 seconds. Now you can jump longer by cross jumping. Sweet! You can either wait for this fellow to activate the teleporter, or you can just shoot a bee at the kill trigger to get to Zen quickly, but that takes a lot of trial and error, so don't. After a bit of training, the scientist begins the sequence. Meanwhile, in Zen... Suddenly, these slime bastards show up. The spongy alien controllers like to shoot hummingballs at you, and they're annoying to kill as they move everywhere, and, well, they're spongy as hell. Don't let them kill that poor scientist.
It's ready. You must go, now!
Oh boy, here we go. Don't get me wrong, I really love the ambience of the place. It's just so, well, alien. It's such a shame that you're gonna do a lot of platforming with the low gravity and a lot of waiting in these levels. The Zen shop just tests your patience, and the vorts of the controls aren't making them any better. Even the healing pearls replenish you very slowly. So I hope you still have some energy and armor left in you, because you're not gonna get them much. Now here's a proper boss battle. It's okay, I guess. The little crap she gives birth to are irritating as fuck, but other than that, you just shoot the bastard and avoid her attacks in 3 parts. Off to Interloper, which is just shit. The first part of the map is alright since there isn't much platforming, then the platforming goes up again. The second map is alright, there's an alternate path you can take if you don't want to alarm everyone. It's quite neat, I might say. Too bad this is the last good part of the game. Here's a factory where the Vorts won't kill you when you explore the place. Until when they do. Well, they're not slaves after all, they're forced to do their job of killing. Oh man, I hate this part with the control that keeps spawning and the grunts hatching from their eggs. Annoying as hell. Jeez, even in the border world, I'm still gonna crawl into vents. Oh fuck! I hate wide open spaces! It's do or die as I try to get to the next teleporter. Thank God I've escaped the factory. Fuck! I'm getting sick of this shit. You know, I like this little part. It's so dark and oppressive. It's the perfect entrance for the end boss. And who's that end boss, you may ask? Well, that. This is the Nalaham, the mastermind behind the whole invasion, and it's just... what? I've seen some weird shit that still don't hold a candle to this guy, and yes, I've heard of Mr. Friendly. And apparently it's inspired by Gabe's son's birth and how scared it was of them, which makes it even weirder. Still, it isn't much of a fight. What you gotta do is destroy the regenerating crystals and reduce his power level, all while avoiding annoying shock balls and teleporting orbs he launches at you. At least the areas he teleports you to give you some resources. I don't care what the truth is, I just want some peace and quiet finally. In the end, you're teleported here to meet the G-Man, a man with many questions yet to be answered. He and his employers are so happy about what Gordon did in Black Mesa and Zen that they're offering him a job. Oh god, please! I've been clamoring for one since forever! The game ends with another tram wide and G-Man offers you a choice. A job or a battle you have no chance of winning. Yeah. Cue the nice credit music. Now that we got that big as hell ending out of the way, let's talk multiplayer. It's your standard deathmatch mode, team or not, with none of the additional stuff you see in modern games like rankings or loot boxes, thankfully. You kill a lot of people for points and that's it. Despite the less than stellar popularity these days, it is fun to pick up and play, with some changes from the single player portion like the revolver having a scope somehow, and letting you go higher with the TOG cannon. It has some iconic moves like Crossfire, Crossfire, Crossfire. Seriously, most servers really like Crossfire. What's not to love? It's a map where you get to nuke at. I think it's really overrated. More maps need the love that they deserve. So that was Half-Life. At its own, it's a really amazing game with memorable set pieces yet alright gunplay. While it was hard to traverse the later chapters, even in normal, it is still enjoyable to play, and the legacy was totally deserved. Like I said at the beginning, Half-Life was a major success with its revolutionary AI and narrative style, and not only spawned many sequels and interquels, as with most PC games at the time, it received 2 expansion packs from Gearbox, Opposing Force, where you play as a Heku soldier who's trying to get out of the base while also confronting new enemies and using the weapons, and Blue Shift, which just plays like an average mod. Speaking of mods, there's a plethora of them, from basic skin and model changes to multiplayer maps, to outright full campaigns, to popular multiplayer total conversions, like Counter-Strike, Day of Defeat, Sven Co-op, and so forth. The first 2 even became official games of Valve later on, and there's still new ones being made today. That's how popular Half-Life still is. And then there's this, but that's a topic for another day. Join me next time on Halloween night as I explore another horrific classic from the late 90s. Just be warned that by the time you watch that special, your mind might get foggy.